the winter of hope. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between snow-covered hills, lived a poor little girl named Meera. Her family was very poor, and they had nothing but a tiny, cold hut to call home. The harsh winters were especially cruel to them, with icy winds and heavy snowfall making it even harder for them to survive. Meera's father, a humble farmer, could no longer work due to his weak health, and her mother, though hard-working, struggled to earn enough money by weaving baskets and selling them at the village market. Meera, despite her young age, would help her mother wherever she could. She would collect firewood in the forest, and sometimes, if she was lucky, she would find a few forgotten grains of wheat scattered on the ground after harvest. They were little things, but they were precious to them. One bitterly cold winter morning, as Meera was walking through the village, she noticed the villagers shivering in the cold. Their homes were warm, their bellies full, but they didn't have much concern for those like Meera who struggled just to survive. Meera's heart sank as she saw her mother sitting by the cold fireplace, rubbing her hands together for warmth. The little girl knew they could not make it through another harsh winter without help. Determined to change their fate, Meera gathered the last of her strength and set off for the town, a day's journey away, hoping to find work or help. She walked through the deep snow, her breath visible in the cold air. Along the way, she passed farms where animals huddled together for warmth and fields that had once been green but were now covered in frost. But no one stopped to help a poor little girl. By the time she reached the town, Meera was exhausted, her face pale from the cold, and her shoes barely protecting her feet. She went to the town square, where people bustled about, preparing for the winter festivities. She approached a group of villagers who were setting up a stall to sell winter coats, but they only stared at her ragged clothes and turned away without a second thought. Heartbroken, Meera sat by a fountain in the middle of the square, the chill seeping into her bones. She felt like she had nowhere to turn, but just as she was about to give up, an elderly woman appeared. She had a gentle smile on her face, her cheeks rosy from the cold, and her eyes sparkled with kindness. "Little one, why do you sit alone on such a cold day?" the woman asked, her voice soft. Meera looked up at her, tears filling her eyes. "I have no home to go back to. My family is poor, and the winter is too cold. I was hoping to find work or help, but no one will help me." The woman's heart went out to Meera, and she sat down beside her. "You have courage, little one. I can see that in you. Sometimes, all it takes is a little kindness to warm the coldest of hearts." With that, the woman led Meera to her home. It was a small but warm cottage, with a roaring fire in the hearth and the smell of freshly baked bread in the air. The elderly woman's name was Savita, and she lived alone after her children had grown and moved to the city. She had a kind heart and offered Meera food and shelter for the night. Over the next few days, Savita taught Meera how to bake bread and make woolen scarves. Meera worked hard, learning quickly, and Savita took her to the town's market to sell the scarves and bread. Slowly, Meera earned enough money to buy a warm coat for her family and a sack of rice to last through the winter. When Meera returned to her village, her family was overjoyed to see her safe and warm. She gave them the coat and rice, and they huddled together by the fire, feeling grateful for the unexpected kindness that had changed their lives. The villagers who had once ignored her now saw her with new eyes, and some even offered to help her family in small ways, such as sharing firewood or offering extra food. Meera never forgot the kindness that Savita had shown her, and every winter after that, she made sure to help others in need, just as Savita had helped her. She became a symbol of hope in the village, a reminder that even in the coldest of winters, a warm heart could bring light and warmth to those who needed it most. And so, despite the hardships of life, Meera and her family survived the winters, not just with warmth, but with the love and kindness that filled their hearts. They learned that no matter how cold the world may seem, a little light can make the darkest days brighter.